Hello everybody, how's it going? We are on the eve of release for ZA. Can you believe it? Actually, I can't believe it. It almost it doesn't feel real. You know what else doesn't feel real? The fact that we got another part of the TERA leak, and there are some insane things in there that we'll need to be talking about today. Everything from the details of Gen 10 to the release date for Gen 11 to dirty laundry between employees. It is honestly insane. What a week for Pokemon this has been, and we don't even have ZA quite yet. Absolutely wild. But yeah, we're back with more ZYGARDE runs. But there's a lot of like I said, TERA Leak 2 chat is absolutely insane. There is some stuff in there that our asses should not be seeing. It's almost it is overwhelming, chat. It actually is overwhelming. I don't even know where to begin. There's layers. There's so many layers. But yeah, first let's get online. That's an important step. That would be an important first step. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Yeah, Justin, that's a good thing to keep in mind with all this TERA leak stuff, is that a lot of when this was taken was years ago. So things can be changed, they can be cut. A lot of stuff can be different from when this document was first written. So that's definitely important to keep in mind. Yeah, I can't believe they were gonna give us Gen 2 Legends and they changed their minds. Ugh. There's so many things. What's up, everybody? How's it going? We all but got admittance that BDSP was not good from them. They pretty much all just about said that. That remakes in the future will have more love and care put into them. There's just so many insano things that have come out. That might be one of my favorite ones, though. Because, lol. Like, yes, please. Please never give us this ever again, guys. I'm glad you see. So this is the original TERA leaker that provided all the information that we had before, but they were holding on to a lot of information and just decided to release it now. Alright, shall we get started? What starter am I choosing? I think I'm leaning Chikorita. Yeah, do we seriously know the generation for the next Legends game already? That's crazy. I mean, listen, we've had conversations about how I think Galar would be a good choice for a future Legends game. Sources say. They agree. Apparently they agree with that. And there is so much stuff from... So first of all, this is going to be all over the place. Again, there's so much information that we've got to go over. But Sword and Shield used to be called Pokemon King and Pokemon Queen. That was the beta name before they came up with Sword and Shield. How interesting is that? Alright, everybody's ready? Let's go. Remember, we're fighting ZYGARDE. No randoms this time. Randoms are taking a bit of a break. It's all about ZYGARDE. I mean, the TERA leaker said that he did not... They didn't want to spoil with the... oh man, we've got to talk about the beta for Legend ZA. So it turns out Ride Pokemon were in fact originally part of the game. And they cut them. Like, what? And we know this. There's an actual image of Go-Goat in the beta. And they cut it. Shoot. Do we have anything of any value on here? Didn't look very, inspiring. Another thing that was particularly interesting about ZA, the beta of ZA, is that the buildings were not just flat blocks. They were fully modeled. So, what changed? Why did that change? Is it because it has to run on the Switch? Which we are also getting our comparisons with the Switch 1 and Switch 2 now. It's pretty much what you would expect, I think. It's nothing, you know, it's nothing crazy. But there definitely is a noticeable difference in a lot of areas. The pop-in, in particular, is much better on the Switch 2 than it is on the Switch 1. We even found out, like, we're probably not gonna get another Ed Sheeran type song in Gen 10. They even had an internal note about how that was wanted from the Pokemon Company. That's... I can't believe we know! We actually know! That is crazy! That's the Pokemon Company pushed for that type of thing, and Game Freak was not interested. Honestly, that makes a lot of sense. That makes so much sense. That reveals a lot of information too. Like, I guess TPCI gets to constantly give notes and suggestions for things that they think would be good in the game. Man, we got budgets too. We'll have to go over the budgets for all the Pokemon games. Like, I can't believe we know that. I cannot believe we know the budgets for each of these games. How many times have I said, oh, I wish I knew the budgets of these games. And we know. We know. What's up, Silver? That's just so crazy. Having this information is wild. I mean, I suppose looking at the budgets, there wasn't anything that particularly shocked me. I mean, I'm sure no one's surprised that they are on the low end of spending several millions. Let me find, there's so much information to go over. Let me find that tweet about the budgets. I was, truly gobsmacked. Flabbergasted. when I saw this information. Yeah, there was, we know Gen 8 beta legendary Pokemon that never happened. There was gonna be a King legendary, a Queen legendary, a Psychic. Both versions would have had a dragon. A Paleozoic legendary got cut from Gen 8. Oh, get a load of this, chat. Beta Gen 8 starters. We know the beta Gen 8 starters. Senzi, like, sounds like they were going for something prehistoric. A fire dog. Water doesn't have a mention, but they were gonna do a grass rabbit. That rabbit must have become Scorbunny. So as originally they were thinking the rabbit was going to be for grass, but they've changed it. Oh, the leak team, the original concept for Scarlet Violet having races in it, we lost. We actually lost. Some of those character designs were so cool. And we lost out to all those bogus Team Star members. I can't believe this. Yeah, it looks like they were gonna go way more prehistoric with Gen 8 Pokemon. They were gonna have 3 mythicals in Gen 8 based on fantasy, invention, and discovery. How did we end up with Zarude? How did we go from that to Zarude? Fantasy, invention, and discovery. That's so interesting. I wanted to see the fantasy mythical. Some of the Gen 8 stuff in here is fascinating. So again, Pokemon Sword and Shield, they were thinking about calling it Pokemon King and Queen. Oh, we have ZYGARDE Hitmonlee here. Nice. They were also considering Cosmo and Galaxy, Order and Change. This one is wild. Femininity and masculinity. That is absolutely what, yeah, Pokemon Cosmo and Pokemon Wanda. Interesting. So they changed a lot of the original plot of Sword and Shield. They were gonna have a mystery queen Pokemon. We know all the code names for all the games, which is kind of fun. What's up, everybody coming in? We're on our first run. Yeah, the Greek thing was not correct. So here, let me read this one off. Because this is so interesting. It's like Christmas. I'm overwhelmed. So they said a proposal for an insert song in Ikaku. Which, Ikaku, is Ikaku PLZA? I can't keep all these code names for games straight. The Pokemon Company seemed to propose it with the feeling that the success of Titan... Okay, so Titan is Scarlet and Violet. Meant that they should repeat it. The success of Titan, Scarlet Violet, was accidental and is not fundamentally controllable, so Game Freak does not wish to pursue it. So there's no Ed Sheeran. There's no Ed Sheeran in ZA. That was something that the Pokemon Company was pushing for. That is so interesting. Here's something that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, but I thought was kind of interesting as well. So they brought up the issue of bonus cards. The issue of Detective Pikachu having an attached bonus card. The card's value has increased, which could lead people to purchase the game only for the card. The Arceus card also had high value. So it looks like they're not going to include cards. I think these were both just Japanese only. But that says they're not going to include cards with pre-orders in games anymore because people were just buying Detective Pikachu for the card. People were just buying Detective Pikachu for the card. That's wild. So there's no more. No more cards. I mean, that Detective Pikachu card was pretty nice. To be fair. But wow. This one is kind of bizarre. Let me read this one out. Again, we're talking, there was more from the TERA leaker, so we're talking, nothing with ZA. We're not talking ZA leaks. This is just general. Honestly, there's so much in here, down to Game Freak's dirty laundry and why Masuda doesn't direct games anymore. There's a lot of truly wild stuff that has been revealed, so... This one says, when the Pokemon Company commissioned promotional illustrations from external illustrations for distribution of Sudachi's mystery gift or raid events, these illustrations included in-game elements. This can invoke a sense of story and potentially lead to player confusion and misunderstanding about what will happen in the game. So they can't have... How does one interpret that? You can't have fun illustrations anymore because they think players will think that'll be in the game? Is that how I'm understanding this? The Pokemon Company should not commission illustrations involving in-game elements on their own. They must be such illustrations must be handled by GF. Game Freak. Exceptions. Event-related illustrations are permissible. Using in-game elements for distribution illustrations is a no. Bold. The no is bolded and capitalized. Yeah, it doesn't look like standard remakes are in their plans at all anymore. It really seems like they just want to do Legends games. Which, speaking of Legends games, chat, tomorrow we'll be streaming ZA when it comes out at midnight. So we'll probably do, I don't know, maybe I'll go live a little early. We'll do a ZYGARDE round or two. And then we'll get to playing ZA. Have they confirmed Gen 10 is Switch 2 only? You know, that's a good question. Can I read you guys some of the beta names for Scarlet and Violet? These are... I want you to imagine a world in which Scarlet and Violet was called this instead. Are you ready? Pokemon Ring and Pokemon Cube. We've got Pokemon Ring and Pokemon Box. That already exists. Pokemon Box literally already exists. How did they forget? Pokemon Dinosaur and Pokemon Machine. Pokemon Dino and Pokemon Robo. And then Pokemon Wild and Pokemon Space. were all beta names for Scarlet Violet. I want you to imagine them going with dinosaur and machine. Paldea had a huge list of beta names. Pandea, Parda, Panini. I want to live in the world where Pokemon Cube existed. Yeah, Pokemon Judge and Pokemon Judy. I think I'm gonna go Chikorita, chat. I've loosely planned my team for ZA. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm locked in. Okay, here's some interesting information, some tidbits about Pokopia. It started development in 2021 as a Switch 1 game with the codename of Oasis. Ooh. Here's where it gets weird. It was considered a spiritual successor to Pokemon Let's Go and was going to have connectivity with Pokemon Home. The idea was to reuse assets from the top-down perspective. I think ZYGARDE can't wait for that because he's out of here. GG's. Starting off strong tonight, chat. Let's go. Yeah, there's some very funny images and references to other... Like, one of the documents, I think it was Omori talking about other regions. He said for Scandinavia that he just played Assassin's Creed Valhalla? What? What do you mean that's how you got an idea for Scandinavia? GG's. I'm still thinking about that one. No shiny. Yes, to get a feel for Scandinavia, I'm gonna play Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They talked about Canada as a potential region. They also talked about the west coast of the US. I want to say there was one more, maybe? Why do they refuse to go to South America? Not even any mentions of it. Let me find that document. I can read it out. Ooh, our friend Cryogonal is here. Let's go. Jeez, we even had a few pictures. We know what Pokemon Champions mobile UI looks like. There's a picture of that in there. Who is that? Is that Beartick? No, it's Aurorus. Okay. Alright, we've got some exciting stuff. There's even videos from Gen 10 in here, chat. Like, this is huge. This is a huge leak. This is a ginormous leak. They're apparently remodeling Pikachu and Charizard for Gen 10. Charizard just got a remodel. I guess they're remodeling it again. There's actually a picture of the new Pikachu model. They thinned him out some more. I mean, this is the same leaker as before, so I think Game Freak knew that this was coming. This is the same guy. Yeah, Justin, you actually got confirmation that Charizard is back in Gen 10. That's actually, like, soft confirmation. Okay. So let's see. Before deciding on Southeast Asia, Game Freak decided... Okay, he typed about Canada, Greece, Scandinavia, and the West Coast. Let me read this out. I believe this is Mori who typed this out. This was, okay, so this was written, wow, we even have the date that this was written. May 6, 2021. About a year and a half before Titan ended. Again, Titan is Scarlet Violet. When selecting the regions, I also looked into the following countries. Canada. I looked into it if I wanted to create an even larger open world. Oh no. An even larger open world, you say? When I looked into the history, I found there was a lot of Native American history which made it difficult to handle. There are plenty of animals. The Thunderbirds motif seems interesting, is what he wrote about Canada. Alright, here's what he wrote about Greece. There are many islands in the sea, so the history would be easy to handle. It seems like a Saint Seiya-like story could be made. I don't know if I said that right. However, the animals in Europe are similar, so it'd be difficult to draw design drawings. I think some of this is machine translated, by the way, if some of this English doesn't make sense. And here's the funniest one. Scandinavia. Norse mythology would be easy to handle. I tried playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. The map is snowy and mountainous, and it's pretty static. It's also vertical, so it would be a story-focused and similar to... Oh man, what's Orion? I can't remember which Pokemon game is Orion. There are also few animals. And then here's the last one. He wrote about the West Coast of the US. It seems like America could be done again. The gym leaders are Hollywood actors and Marvel heroes. However, it's similar to L2, and if you aim to be a Hollywood star, the vertical length makes it similar to Orion. L2. Are we talking like black and white too? Orion sword shield, that makes sense. So those are the regions I guess came the closest to actually happening. The West Coast, Canada, Greece, Scandinavia. So Greece was mentioned. Yeah, Marvel heroes. I don't like the sound of that. I don't know if I like the sound of that exactly. The box art legendary is Spider-Man. How interesting. I wonder if we'll ever see any of these pop up again. What Hollywood actors would they have used? There is absolutely no telling. Man, there's so much to go over. Okay, let me keep looking. Oh, there's the Pokemon, the seed stuff with... Apparently they're cooking up some sort of game where you have... I can't even remember was it Gen 1, 2, 3, 4? It was like all the Japanese region games in one game. And there's some sort of seed Pokemon. Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Sinnoh, and Kitakami. I almost like will not believe that will ever exist. It just doesn't sound real. Yes, Game Freak has definitely been inspired by Hollywood actors before. When again, the first part of the TERA leak that had all the design documents for games like Black and White, a lot of them brought up actors that the characters were inspired by, so that's something Game Freak has done before. Alright, Bisharp didn't kill me, so we're all good. Wow, they were gonna have large claw marks and footprints. Legends of gigantic creatures remain throughout this region. Oh, that would have been so fun. Wow, Sword and Shield went through a lot of changes. Yeah, the proto dex for Sword and Shield was the starters was going to be a fire dog, a prehistoric water Pokemon, and a grass rabbit. They must have, again, just repurposed that rabbit into Scorbunny. At least they didn't cut it like the rabbit that was gonna originally be the water starter in Gen 3. Oh, no, we missed out. They were gonna have Galarian Zubat. They cut Galarian, Zubat, Golbat, and Crobat. No! What did they look like? I'm so sad. They were finally gonna give my boy Zubat something and he got cut? I can't believe this. Interesting. It looks like... I wonder if some of this got recycled for Scarlet. With all this talk of prehistoric Pokemon? They were gonna have legendaries that were supposed to represent, like, the Jurassic period and stuff like that. Wow, this is really cool. Wait, did Centro just post that? Oh my god. Centro just posted crazy Pokemon Scarlet Violet beta details incoming, including the original whole plot. Worried for a treat? There's even more? No way. I wonder if this is gonna make something like Terapagos make more sense. How different was Ogerpon? Was that always planned? Proto Eternatus was 13 Joker Ancient Evil Dragon. The most evil, strongest, and largest Pokemon. It can evolve in 8 stages. Wow. Oh, what's the original plot of Scarlet Violet? I'm so sad they cut Galarian Zubat. Justice for my boy. Gen 8 was originally planned to have its own group of special Pokemon like Ultra Beasts or Paradox Pokemon. They were gonna be called Titans. Wow, somebody at Game Freak is really fond of Titans. Somebody at Digimon is fond of Titans too. Lots of Titan activity. There's gonna be 1 Titan for each type. Plus an additional Kaiser for each Kaiser/Emperor for each Titan. Wow, that is super interesting. Yeah, what do we know when they're planning to release Gen 11, chat? Like, what do I say to that? What can you say to that? We should not know this. That is... I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but it's just crazy. This is insane. Yeah, we're moving to a 4-year cycle now. That's correct. They're doing 4 years now. It doesn't look like anything... No mention of NSO stuff, was there? Do we think that means there's not going to be anything released for NSO for next year for the anniversary? I mean, this stuff was... Again, these documents were... Some of them date back to the early 2020s. And again, a lot of this stuff can be subject to change. Remember that. But yeah, the anniversary year, you think if there was ever a time for them to put their old games... on NSO, it would be now. That was a beautiful hit, Cryogonal. I sincerely doubt they would leak this on purpose. Again, I think this is just the same TERA leaker from last time. But now that ZA is pretty much almost out. Oh, we got the defeat before the transformation. GG's. That was amazing. Yeah, Nintendo has been taking down a few posts. But to be honest, most of this stuff is just out there and easily ready to find. They're not quite moving fast enough. Damn, I'm sad there's no Galarian Zubat pictures. It says this specifically, there's no pictures. Alright, let's see. Shiny Zygarde before ZA tomorrow? No. The stuff about Gen 10 is crazy. We have characters in the game that have been described. We have the evil team that has a description that I don't like. What else do we have? We have descriptions of what apparently are the box art legendaries. Iffy on those two. It's like, wow. The only thing that we haven't really heard of is what the starters look like. That's still, I guess, gonna be with their big surprise. Oh, this is a terrible selection. No, I don't think anything's been said about the starters. We still don't know. They've described the professor. There's a video in there that's showing their new water graphics. So at least I think they finally figured out how to do water. Great news, everyone. They finally figured it out. Wow, we have absolutely jack squat on the field. Yeah, the fact that we... Again, this stuff could change, but the fact that we know, like, the next Legends game just seems wrong. Legends is reviewing pretty well. Reviews are starting to drop today. Yeah, what's the mood over at Game Freak HQ? I mean, they probably see it as this is a small niche amount of people that are seeing these leaks and that it's not ultimately a big deal. I don't know, the fact that the budgets, we have to talk about the budgets. Let me find the tweet about the budgets. I can't believe we know how much yen they spend on each of these games now. That is truly crazy. Oh, let's talk about this real quick. I did come across this tweet. This is very telling. I think this is very telling. So this is from the Game Freak docs from the TERA League. Remakes made for Black and White onward should have a lot more love and care put into them. I hope that they become good games that will allow people to enjoy eras different from the Legends series. So, you're saying BDSP sucked, huh? I'm reading between the lines here. They want remakes Black and White forward to have more love put into them. Good. So, I mean, we know their plans up to like 2030 and there's no remakes in there. So they did name drop Black and White, but it doesn't seem like they have any current plans to remake it. I mean, the amount of games that they're releasing in the next several years is a ton. I still think it's hard to see that anything has changed. Like, they're still cranking out 1 billion games. Nothing has really stopped. Yeah, no rest for the game devs. Back to your desk, worm. Oh, you got DC'd? Damn. Where did I need that budget tweet. I think we're gonna need it. We have absolutely nothing to, really fight ZYGARDE here. Okay, so here's the budget for Legends ZA. It was about 2 billion yen, which sounds like a lot, but that is actually around $13 million. That is very low. To put it into perspective, Black Ops Cold War, $700 million is that game's budget. Your average AAA game is usually hundreds of millions. Not 13 million. Usually they'd add a 0 on there. Let's see, Cyberpunk, I mean, I don't know how fair you could call these comparisons. Cyberpunk 2077 had a $400 million budget. Spider-Man 2 was 315 million. The Last of Us 2 was 220 million. 13 million. Yeah, Game Freak is not spending a lot of money on these games. Yeah, how many ZAs can you make with GTA 6's budget? That's a great question. That's a very good question. So it looks like Gen 10 they spent 3 billion yen, so that's around 20 million. $20 million for Gen 10. We even have the budget for Scarlet and Violet's DLC. The DLC budget was 500 million yen. That is nothing. That is absolutely pitiful. I mean, that's true that developer salaries in the US are much more expensive, but again, even if they did take, that's still a very low number. For such a major franchise that brings in billions, that is still a very low number. I think Capcom, if we want to talk Japanese developers, I think your average Capcom game costs around 100 million. So if you want a comparison with other Japanese devs, they're definitely spending more money than Game Freak is. Think of how cheap they probably made stuff like Pokemon Ruby and all those games back then. Think of the budget for those. They're raking in billions in revenue. And they barely have to pay anything to make the game, so it's all just huge profit for them. I think... What was Scarlet Violet's budget? 3 million? No, that's so low. No, I think that's just for the DLC. People aren't put. I know the whole list of games came out, but people are only including a few of them. ZA has the same budget as Metroid Prime, a game from the Wii era. And it shows. Again, we did get a few images of ZA beta footage. They cut ride Pokemon, and they cut the actually fully modeled buildings. Like, a lot of what I've seen of ZA's graphics looks nice, but then you look at the buildings that are just like stickered. They're just box stickers, and it's like, this does not look great. Why did they decide to do this? Because it has to be a Switch 1 game? Is that why they detextured the buildings? Because it wouldn't work on the Switch 1? They planned for Switch 2 but had to port it to the Switch 1. Yeah, it's like some of the footage of like when you're outside the train station and I'm looking at all the foliage, it's like, this looks nice, but then you see the building, it's like, oh no, why did they do this? And you can't enter the salons either. I really don't like that this is becoming a common feature of Pokemon games. You can't go into stores or buildings anymore. Again, there is, if you're curious, chat, this doesn't show, this is just like beginning of the game footage, but still. But there is a, this video here that shows the comparison between Switch 1 and 2. Things look a lot more crisp. I mean, it's not huge, but things definitely look a lot better on the Switch 2. Which shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, that shouldn't really be a surprise, should it? It's not crazy. Some of the worst things, I think, with the difference is that things like tents completely disappear. On the Switch 1, the pop-in is kind of bad. Yeah, it looks like the frame rate on both versions seems pretty consistent, which is good. That's a positive. That's exactly what you want to see. That's not what I want to see from you, ZYGARDE. Yeah, we were never gonna win this one. No shinies. We carry on. Now I'm like, is there anything else that came out of the TERA leak that I wanted to talk about? I guess we haven't really talked about all the weird stuff that was revealed about Masuda. Yeah, everyone hates him. Everyone hates Masuda. Minifigs? Nice. Masuda was banned from directing Pokemon games, referred to as the era of Masuda's absolute dominance. Masuda alone handled development planning, personnel decisions, public relations, and game design. Up through Black and White, it was an era where no one could oppose him. Oh my god. How do we know this? This is crazy. This led to a concentration of power, and the organization began to run out of control. Yeah, okay. Organization began to run out of control. In personal matters, unnecessary people and favorites emerged. The game's content shifted from being focused on fun to being driven by PR. What does that mean? Okay, is there anybody of any value on this field? Okay, Glalie right in front of us, and so is Sneasel, of course. They could no longer do proper game design. Various problems arose during the development of X and Y. Masuda would get into an argument with Sugimori, resulting in a decision that he would no longer be able to direct from then on. The boys are fighting, chat. He got into an argument with Sugimori? This is Game Freak dirty laundry that we're learning about. But yeah, who wrote this down? Masuda and Sugimori are going at it again. Write it down. Wow. But like, why did Masuda, as soon as Masuda left, games started getting bad? Wow, the internal drama. And the fact that this is documented. How interesting. I wonder what Masuda's side of this story is. Yeah, is this... Are we reading HR documents? Games content shifted from being fun to being driven by PR. What does that mean? After being pushed out, I'm surprised Masuda just didn't leave. I'm sorry, Kong. Wow, this is almost like rendered me speechless. I never thought we would get something that tells us about the internal drama between Game Freak employees. Somebody take this, please. Somebody take this, please. Please, somebody, buddy, take Glalie. Thank you. What is that? Palps? Let me see if there was anything else that was written about him in there. Oh, this is so funny. Yeah, he still works there. I can't remember his job title now, though. He does something. He still has... I don't know, it kind of reminds me of what they did to Charles Martinet. He has the I'm also still here sometimes job. Yeah, figurehead. I mean, Masuda has so many bad quotes, it's hard to... It's hard to, it's hard to want to jump to his defense, you know? Okay, are we ready, chat? We've got Beta, Scarlet, and Violet stuff to talk. Oh my lord, this is a huge list of information. Okay. Wow, we're immediately opening up with something kind of wild. There were supposed to only be 4 gyms in the main story, with an additional 4 optional ones. Okay, that changed. Gym leaders' teams change depending on how many badges you have. Nimona and Arvin still exist, but Penny did not. Interesting. So Penny was a later addition. You still get Koraidon and Miraidon at the beginning of the story. The evil team is based on a marching band. That would have been so funny. They were gonna be called Team March? No, we were robbed! That sounds amazing. An evil group of marching band kids? That's so appropriate. If you've ever known anybody in marching band, you know that's 100% accurate. No. Okay, where do we leave off? The champion of the region has disappeared. However, the commander of Team March calls himself the acting champion. Ooh, here's an interesting one. Jacques was supposed to be a central character to the story and later revealed that he's the 4th gym leader. So Jacques was going to be a gym leader. Interesting. After defeating Jacques, the team march appear and almost defeat the protagonist, but Miraidon finishes healing just in time and defeats the evil team. The legendary takes the protagonist, Nimona, Arvin, and Jacques. Oh wow, so Jacques was gonna be like a main character. This almost sounds like he was gonna be part of your group. They bring in Grandpa. Oh, ads are playing. We'll take a break. We'll resume when they're done. Nimona, Arvin, and Jacques. What a trio. I guess they decided, you really don't have to talk much to Jacques at all. He's the one of the professors or teachers. Doesn't he have like hexagon glasses or something and purple hair? Remember they did a thing where he talked to Professor Willow from Pokemon Go? Jacques. Yeah, the biology teacher. Yes, thank you. He's the biology teacher. Yeah, it gives you the starter in Kitakami. Yeah, the purple-haired guy. He was gonna be a main character. That's so interesting. Why him? And a gym leader. Not only was he gonna be part of the taken with the legendary, but he was gonna be a gym leader. What was his team gonna be, I wonder? Was he gonna be like a poison type leader? Do you battle him? I can't even remember. I don't even remember if you battle him in the game. The teachers are so forgettable, unfortunately. I think I did the Ace Attorney. I just said Ace Attorney. I think I did that Ace tournament like once. I think I did it one whole time. I think I just fought Nimona again? I can't even remember who my opponent was. Alright, we have a few ice types, but this still might be kind of scary. Alright, ads are done. Let's keep reading. So we left off... the legendary takes you to a legendary island that people think is just a myth, so this sounds like Area 0. The island looks like 10 million years in the past or 10 million years in the future. Oh, that would have been sick! Many Koraidon and Miraidon live on the island. Jacques upgrades the Pokedex and includes the new island, and you get to name it. You get to name the island. The legendary island, there are trials like Alola. Nimona specifically mentions that it reminds her of the trials of Alola from a long time ago. Interesting. Do I want to take this or let Glalie have it? I'll set up the reflect. From here on, the true open world begins. You can freely travel between the main island and the legendary island. You can choose to go back to complete the 4 remaining gyms on the main island or do the trial. You can complete the trials in any order. There's 8 total. So it sounds like they were gonna just, reuse totem Pokemon, perhaps? In the first trial, Nimona realizes she was bound by academic credentials, but realizes that a life on the established track is boring. She vows to find her own path. In the second trial, Arvin realizes that despite his talent, he had been going with the flow. He vows to stop this way of life and live by utilizing his talent. So they completely changed Arvin's character. His original problem was that he goes with the flow. Oh no, they gave him more problems. Ooh, they were gonna have a plot twist! In the third trial, Jacques was gonna admit that he's part of the evil team, but vows to quit. Secret villain. But he vows to be better. After the fourth trial, Team March appears from the sky. The commander of the team thanks Jock because he put a transmitter on him without realizing it. This is so silly. They want to catch all the legendary Pokemon on the island. You enter Team March's flying airship and defeat their Elite Four plus their commander. After defeating Team March, also, GG. I think you're the secret villain, ZYGARDE. Get out of here. GG, that was a great round. After defeating Team March, the protagonist is transported to a mysterious place full of flowers, where he can apparently see his own house right in the middle. Protagonist finds a mysterious turtle Pokemon in the house. Mysterious turtle Pokemon, huh? Interesting. You guys know any mysterious turtle Pokemon? So Terapagos was planned from the very beginning. That's pretty interesting. Terapagos was planned from day one, huh? What? This is convoluted. I don't even know how to read this. This is starting to read like a fan fiction. Alright, let me pick my Pokemon and try to make heads or tails of this. Protagonist finds mysterious turtle Pokemon in the house. You hear a voice from the back of the room. Is there anyone there? So someone has come this far. Congratulations. Is this Terapagos saying this? I wanted to say this to those who have come this far. I wanted to create a Pokemon utopia. I don't care if people criticize me. This is the Pokemon utopia I envisioned. Huh? This is sounding like a Game Freak Pokemon plot. I'll give him that. That's Swampert up there. Oh, is it worth it with this team? Oh boy. I dreamed and idealized it. Ideals, ding. And I made it come true. I left behind what I believe to be the true treasure here. You were guided here by something. Now, are you worthy of obtaining this treasure? Show me your strength. He fights a mysterious, shadowy man. The man calls himself the Champion. His face is hidden in shadows. He uses the turtle Pokemon as his last Pokemon. After a you guys aren't ready for this one. After a fierce battle, he defeats the champion. The champion never reveals that he is his father. No, what do you mean? A father plot twist? The champion never reveals that he is his father. The champion says, beautiful, your ideals surpass mine. This is... The champion also says, ideals are meaningless unless they are put into practice. Treasures are meaningless on their own. What do you value and what ideals do you envision? This is Game Freak writing if I've ever heard it. Yes, your dad, N? Go ahead and take this. He obtains the champion's proof, the turtle Pokemon, and a mysterious letter. Champion, soon this place will crumble. There is no path ahead of you. Now move forward. Live a life that everyone will envy. Space distorts, and the space created by the turtle's power is about to crumble. The moment the ground beneath his feet crumbles, Miraidon, Koraidon pick up the protagonist from the sky, and with that, it flies away into the sky. We just needed a few drops of truth in there, and then this would have been a continuation of Black and White. What did I even just read? There's no path ahead of you. Ideals are meaningless. Like, this is such Game Freak dialogue. This... If I close my eyes, it's like nothing has changed at all. But wait, there's more. Nimona, Arven, and Jock are surprised that the protagonist disappeared. The protagonist shows them the true champion certificate that he got. Wow, you beat your mysterious, shadowy dad and he gives you a little certificate. That's the championship certificate. How amazing. Is this the treasure? Jock says, I don't know, but it looks like you found something important. You look so happy. At this point, all four main characters have found their treasure. But this is not mentioned explicitly, and the story ends without defining what the treasure is. The friends we made along the way, of course. At this point, they leave the island to go back home and the ending begins. The credits roll as they watch footage of them flying through the sky riding legendary Pokemon. Wow. Maybe we, maybe we actually did get a bit of a better story. In post-game, you can fight the remaining 4 gym leaders if you haven't done so, and then you can fight Nimona and decide who will become the actual champion of the region. Wow. If you would like to read this beautiful beta Scarlet Violet story yourself, there's the tweet. If you would like to behold with your own eyes. There it is. They should have kept the badge scaling, though. It seems like they already were going to build up to that in the story, and they just didn't. Most of that story was pretty terrible, but there were a few things there that would have been kind of neat. The gym scaling, probably the coolest thing. I mean, Katie even has dialogue that I feel like implies that that's what should have happened, but they didn't do it. Your ideals. Yeah, you meet the mysterious champion and he just spouts out a bunch of nonsensical nothingness. Yup, that's a Pokemon champion. Yeah, Arven changed the most. And that's interesting that Penny is a later addition. I guess they decided that they wanted Jacques as a teacher and not as one of your little pals. So does that mean that Jacques was supposed to be younger in the original draft of the Scarlet Violet story? Team March. Why would was anybody wondering why a marching band team would want to catch a bunch of legendaries? I don't quite understand what Team March's goals were. And that Jacques would have been secretly a member the whole time. Yeah, there's no mention of the director. There's no mentions of Clavel in there. He must have been a later addition as well. That's a good point. So Team Flare and all that, or Team Flare. Team Star. Why did I say Team Flare? I'm too busy thinking about ZA. Team Star was a later addition too. They showed a bunch of beta artwork. There was originally going to be more of a importance on Pokemon races in Scarlet and Violet. They were going to have different vehicles, like they had a really fun fairy guy design driven by an army of Togekiss carrying like a chariot. And they caught him! They had one that was like a barrel contraption for the water. They were so cool. Let me see if I can find it. Some of these pictures have been taken down, and I'm too scared to show them on screen. I don't need the Nintendo ninjas getting me. Pokemon Sword Shield art. That didn't help. Sword Shield. What else could I look for? Sword Shield art. I think some of these pictures have already been taken down. Let me keep looking. Yeah, I was looking up the wrong game. It would help if I looked up the correct game. Oh, you guys want to see the beta protagonists? I like the girl protagonist here. Those designs I think are cuter than what we ended up with. Also, get a load of, that has to be Beta Coridon. Or Miraidon. That's so Monster Hunter. Okay, I found it. Here you go, chat. Those are all 3 of the, there's more if you scroll down, too. But if you want to see the Gen 8... Or why do I keep saying Gen 8? The Gen 9, rides. There you go. That Togekiss mobile is so sick. I can't believe we lost that for the lame Reverooms. That is such a good design. Alright, Marsh Stomp wasn't too difficult. Again, tomorrow, chat, we'll probably do a few rounds of ZYGARDE and then get into ZA. Yeah, tell me those aren't all so fun! The Whalmer little boat, it has Seismitoad on it. Even that Dodrio car is sick. The Bouffalant ride, it has like a giraffe tail back there. That's so cool. Ooh, that's a fun one. Pokemon Mad Max. We could have had Pokemon Mad Max instead of what we ended up with. Yeah, that's Chingling. If Marshtomp can get Ice Up, then I can Weather Ball. I mean, you barely see anybody even riding Cyclizar in Scarlet Violet, let alone some of those designs. Yeah, those characters... Listen, Game Freak is... One thing I think they've nailed, and I've seen a few characters from ZA, their character designs are
welcome back.
Top-notch stuff. Sky, thanks for the 13
look.
months. I appreciate it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Thank you, thank you. Welcome back. I think they absolutely nail character design. There's a lot of really cute and fun trainers in ZA that I'm excited for people to see. Alright, let's try Weather Ball now. Frostmoth can actually do something. It can participate this time. Yeah, it's crazy how ambitious Game Freak is. Their ambition is huge. Good job, Frostmoth. Yeah, you can actually go through the design docs for Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. Right from what I imagine the Game Freak shareholders were shown, the exact document. It's so weird. We should not be seeing this stuff. And we haven't even talked about the list of potential megas that were found for the DLC. Oh my god. That's honestly a crazy list. If it's true, if any of them are true. We almost got away without the transformation. Darn. Yeah, the budget of the games is, knowing that they spend so little on them. I mean, most of us could have probably guessed that, but to actually have the confirmation on how much they spend on these games is, it's something. GG's. Nice. Even with this... Honestly, this team was pretty good. I was gonna say ragtag, but no, this team kind of crushed it, so GG's. Good job, team. Yeah, it does put into perspective, like, you know how much they're spending, what, 13 million? Don't spend any of them millions on something like a garbage photo mode. But I'd spend photo mode if you were shiny, ZYGARDE. But you're not. I just, listen. One of the megas on that list I have to talk about. Not in ZA. I'm talking about potential, DLC. I just have to talk about it. I have to get it out. So, they might give Garchomp another mega? Did anybody see that? There's gonna be like Garchomp Y? What if it's ugly? What if it's really bad? Yeah, they're gonna do it for Lou. I can't believe it. 2? Listen, I'm kind of happy with 1. Yeah, they're giving Lucario a second one? What could they possibly do with it that they haven't done for the first one? Yeah, I needed to vent about this. It's very scary when your favorite Pokemon... Listen, I'm already dealing with another Pokemon that I really like that's got a bad Mega Evolution, and now I could potentially have another one on my hand. Hands? Plural? Yeah, are they gonna go with the same pink shiny? What about... Oh, man. It loses stats instead. You actually lose stats instead. Not only is Flygon not getting a Mega, it's not even in the game. They really just said no. It's a covert Mega Flygon. It's a very interesting list, I'll say that. I mean, Gen 3's in there somewhere. It's just not Flygon. Yeah, is that a theme? Is that actually gonna end up being a... Is the double Raichu Mega actually a theme of the DLC? I think that's exactly what that means. They're gonna do 2 for Raichu, and they're gonna give a bunch of other Pokemon another Mega Evolution, so they'll have 2 as well. It was right in front of us the whole time. Double Raichu, it was a secret sign. Yes, for truths and ideals. I mean, I do like some of the Pokemon that are on this list. It isn't just... Oh, Absol's getting another one too. So it looks like 3 Pokemon are getting another Mega. Yeah, are its wings gonna work this time? Some of this stuff, again, could change because this is just, you know, there's no actual pictures of anything in here. It's just stuff they've taken from data mining ZA. There's one Pokemon on here that'll make a lot of people really mad. There's one on here that is gonna make a lot of people very upset. I can picture it now. They gave this guy a Mega, but not Flygon? It's from Gen 7. It's from Gen 7. Mantine, you could be a new shiny for me. No, it's not Incineroar. I would... If it was... we would have opened up stream chat if they were gonna give Incineroar a Mega. Not Bruxish, but you're close, Cacturne. You're on the right track. It is a Pokemon a lot of people find... unpleasant to look at. Not Delmise. Oh, how could you say that about Delmise? Delmise is beautiful. Have you ever seen a more beautiful anchor in your life? I didn't think so. Cobblepuss? The Pokemon is white. Mostly. white and blue. With a little bit of purple. Fuzzy. Woolly, you might say. You might say it's a woolly blank Pokemon. Crab. Oh, which one? Which crab? The woolly crab Pokemon, also known as Crabominable. Aren't you all excited? No. You like Crabominable? I've got great news. Yeah, what if it glows up? The Yassify Crabominable. I cannot begin to imagine what that's gonna look like. I cannot begin to imagine. Again, if that is real, what that's gonna look like. My goodness. Yeah, there's a lot of Gen 3s that they're just ignoring. No Milotic. Sorry, Luxray fans. There's 2. Actually, no, there's 3. No, there's 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's 4. Remember how I was curious if they'd have some Gen 9 Pokemon in the game? Seems like they're going to. I think it's a good list, though. Mostly. Mostly a good list. There is a mythical on here. Which is quite interesting. Wonder how that's gonna look. If you want to know, if you want to see the full list, chat, there it is. If you would like to see the full list, there it is. Supposedly. Again, they could always cut, change their minds, get something changed, be completely different. Archomp Z. I don't know, man. Oh, I can't believe they're giving my boy another Mega. Charizard Z. Is this when they actually do it? Is this when they pull the trigger? Is this when they pull the trigger on Charizard Z? I predicted a long time ago that Charizard Z would actually happen, so I was surprised when it didn't. But what if? What if it was actually secretly part of the DLC? Charizard. Again, they're giving Charizard a new model in Gen 10. That was part of the little bits and pieces we got of Gen 10. Charizard is receiving a new model, and so is Pikachu. They're thinning our boy Pikachu up even more, if you can believe it. Here, if you want to see Pikachu, there it is. I don't know, I kind of like it. I mean, Fat Pikachu's always a classic. But, I don't know. I don't think it's terrible. Yeah, they made the silhouette stand out a little bit more. Maybe that's the point of that design, is to give Pikachu a stronger, more identifiable silhouette. Yeah, Galaxy, I'm excited to play. I've planned out my team, I think, for the most part. This will be the first real test of my Switch 2. I haven't really played any particular Switch 2 games on my Switch 2. So this will be the real test. Shiny Articuno, nice! Congrats. Yeah, isn't there some, like, classic animation quote or something where you want your character to have a distinguished silhouette? Something marketing. Okay, I think the game will unlock at midnight tomorrow, so we'll be ready to geez, I need to make my thumbnail for YouTube. I got a special layout. Booper may or may not be wearing something to celebrate the occasion. Oh yeah, did we figure out what the shiny locks are? Shiny locks. I don't know if any information has been tweeted about shiny locks. I mean, people have been posting images of certain shinies, so I assume that they're just using like they're showing off shiny Chestnut. Like they're probably just hacking these in. Booper be a mime. ROM hack a Sword and Shield. Yeah, most of the good ROM hacks on Switch are for BDSP because of the engine. But there are a few other good ones. Your ideals are meaningless. The word ideals came up in Time Stranger too. It was like a Leo point me moment. It's like, oh yeah, they drone about that in Pokemon all the time. They sure love ideals over there, I guess. And truths. The truthly truth ideals of it all. I mean, I'm pretty sure ZA is out on particular certain websites if you have an emulator. Emulator. Not that I would know. Yeah, it sounds... here's the thing. It sounds like they think it should be very profound. I feel like they want it to come across as really profound and deep, and it just isn't. It's not. Flowery way of saying nothing, I guess, is how I would phrase a lot of that dialogue. Again, even like games like Time Stranger have it. It's I don't I don't know. Can we write about like something else, guys? Please? Mantine is going for wide guard. That sure is my job. Yeah, having no conviction. I can't believe Masuda was booted out of directing games. That is... I don't even know. How many times can I say that's crazy or that's wild? That he got into a argument with Sugimori. These guys have known each other for so many years. That would suck if you hated if you hated one of them. Yeah, the tyranny of truth and ideals. And the fact that Game Freak's official files have a document on it. Yeah, Sugimori has made some absolute bangers. His art style is so distinct and fun. Just looking at like the old watercolor Gen 1 art, 10 out of 10. Masterpiece. Like his art is integral to this franchise. Yes, and he also loves Princess Peach. The boys are fighting. What could Basuda and Sugimori have been arguing about, I wonder? Put the Battle Frontier in Oraz. No! No! Kids like their phones! I refuse! Yeah. Are you... Masuda approaches him and says, do you like your truths? Or do you like your ideals? Yeah, I'm sure Gen 10 will still remain like most mainline Pokemon games are. It's not suddenly going to become a Legends game. Like, the Legends franchise exists for a reason. Which, as we know from the TERA leak, is to be for an older audience. I believe the document said something like, for gamers. The Legends games are for the gamers. Yeah, I don't see anything that's come out about shiny locks. I guess the data miners just If they've brought it up, I haven't seen anybody talk about it. Yeah, Amori played a little bit of Assassin's Creed Valhalla to decide if he wanted to do Scandinavia or not. That's real. I'm not just joking. That is a real thing that we have discovered. Good night, Zarok. Have a good one. Wow. We'll do a mega tier list, I don't know, I guess I'll try to gauge when people are mostly done with the game, so I can finally talk about the rest of the megas in the game. But we'll do a list. We'll do a tier list. Yeah, they talked about remakes, but nothing in their schedule said that they had any remakes planned. Ugh, I'm gonna have to include, like, when I do the intro, because I want this to be, you know, this is gonna be a playthrough on YouTube as well, but I'm gonna have to clunkily say Totodile is my favorite starter, but this time we're going with Chikorita. This time though, I can't do it. Yeah, for some reason. Definitely not that I know what the Mega looks like, and it is turbo ass. Listen, they should love Tepig. I like that design. Especially the shiny. Wait till people see the shiny. I think people will really I think a lot of the shiny megas will please people. What mega looks like ass for alligator? Yes, Goofy. And you know me, I like some goofy megas. I think they can't all be super serious, edgy designs. So I think a few funny ones are great. This is not funny. I know what they're going for. And I don't like it. I don't like it. It makes me upsetty. It makes me sad. Oh, there's full animations out of it too, so I've seen it animated. Again, spoiler, this is what it looks like. If you want to see it, that's what it looks like. Listen, chat, some people were saying from certain angles it looks like a toilet bowl, so it's not great. It's not great. I'm real sad. When your favorite starter's mega is getting compared to a toilet bowl, you know, it just feels bad. This feels bad. Nothing. I do, Justin. I really have not had a great time of it with my favorite Pokemon getting megas that one might say are ugly, weirdly inspired. Man, the amount of times I've taken Mantine and it's never been shiny for me. That was so much worse than I thought it would be. Wow, that is pretty much my reaction. That was pretty much my exact reaction. It's so bad. Oh, what have they done? What have they done? They have soiled it. Soiled it. Yeah, that Nidoking was so sick. Have a good one, Yeti. Alright, I guess... Ooh, okay, that at least revealed Vanillish. I will say, though, chat, listen, if you're an Emboar fan, I think you should be happy. Again, this is a spoiler. But I think that's super cool. That's really cool. Alright, another Zygarde round. Yippee! We have Sandslash on the field. Alright. Better than nothing. Gonna be your starter. He looks sick. That's really cool. That might be one of the best shinies in the whole game. That is unbelievably good. I don't know, Cacturn. That's a good question. If you eventually get the other two. There's a wild zone that has the Kanto starters. Wow, we already know certain locations and what Pokemon spawn there. I have to assume you either get like a tutorial Mega Lucario first or the starters first. I think it'll be pretty early. You can walk around with the Megas too. That's super fun. The shiny alphas I've seen people running into are so fun. Burn, burn. The shiny megas of Delphox, Greninja, and Chestnut look exactly like you think they would. Here, if you want to see the shinies of them. I think Delphox is my favorite shiny of the three. But again, they look exactly like you think they do. I think people are going to be very happy with some of the shiny megas. I say is the one I envision that Justin just says he thinks is a disappointment. You don't like it? To me, it feels very fan servicey. Also, heads up, chat, ads are coming, but it'll take us a while to get to Zygarde, so you're not missing much. I think for the most part, like shiny Victory Bell, you just picture Victory Bell shiny. That's what most of these are. It doesn't look like there's any humongous changes. Dragonair. Here, chat, I can give you a video. If you want to see shiny Mega Dragonite, that's what it looks like. It's just Dragonite, nothing else. I like it. I think it looks nice. I like the purple. It has a little bit of purple in it. I like the purple. There is a Pokemon that got a Mega that has a bad shiny, and they kept it with a bad shiny, so I was kind of sad to see that. When the game comes out, I'll point out who it is. Some of you, if you know the spoils, you might already be able to know who I'm talking about. But I think besides that one, most people will be happy with the shinies for the Megas. Although, can I talk about, especially since he's right in front of us, Mega Malamar's stats are terrible. Oh no, we need to get the ice. Yeah, my bad. Forgot about the ice Pokemon up there. Crisis averted. Yeah, they took away attack from Mega Dragonite. And Mega Malamar is... God, it's almost unusable. I don't know what they were thinking. Mega Malamar's stats are a real head scratcher. It might be one of the worst Megas, stat-wise. It's really bad. Unless they're gonna give it some sort of god tier ability. Because I believe the ability code in the game is just copy and pasted from the base Pokemon. We don't actually know what abilities any of the new Megas have. But unless they give it some sort of cracked ability, Mega Malamar's stats are really bad. Which, that sucks. I really wanted Malamar to be fun and competitive. I hate that they do that. That's one of my problems with Megas. It feels like some Megas are absolutely cracked. And then some are like, Father, please, spare some stats. Or they put all the stats in the weird... It's like, well, no. No, don't put them there. Where's his speed? I don't know, Galaxy. We're getting little bits and pieces of the Scarlet Violet beta. Maybe there'll be more for that. I really wanted to use Victory Bell, but if I take Meganium, then I don't want two grass types. Team real estate, I have none. There's so many Pokemon I want to use. And I want to try to use, you know, I'm using a good amount of Pokemon that can Mega Evolve because I've heard a few reviews say that they think the game is, I mean, again, coming off of PLA, which has some difficult boss fights, I want to have some good Pokemon in case the game is hard. That's what I'm saying. I want to have some good Mons just in case the game is tough. But then there's like, I want to use Gible and get Mega Garchomp, but when am I ever going to get Garchomp's Mega Stone in the game? I have no idea. Also, this is my favorite website for team building. If you guys need a website to help you team build for ZA, this website is perfect. I actually use this to plan out all my teams. They can, if you go back, you can do any other game you want. I use this for Sapphire, I use this for Gold, Blue. Yeah, that's what I use to get a pretty rough idea of the Pokemon I want to use, I think. Yeah, you could absolutely wing it, too. There's no wrong choice. You know, use whoever you want. Yeah, the Pokemon fan community is so good about stuff like this. There's so many useful websites with... Like, this is a tool you think the official Pokemon website would have, but you could do a randomized team, too, which is fun if you want to just... I hit randomize and it put Xerneas and ZYGARDE on my team. Sylveon, Malamar, Raichu, ZYGARDE, Xerneas, Garchomp. How did they know? How'd they know? Going into ZA without thinking of a team. I mean, that can be just as fun, deciding on the spot who you want to use. I'd reveal my team, but there's a few Pokemon on there that you would probably be like, oh, why is that there? Hey, that's weird. That's suspicious. So it's a bit of a spoiler. Oh, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about. Check this out. This is kind of bad. So, you know how Venusaur got a brand new model in Scarlet Violet? And it looks pretty good, I think. Well, they're using Mega Venusaur based on the old model. So they have a different look to them. That's really bizarre. I guess most people, I don't know, most people won't notice. But you can definitely, yeah, it's awkward. Why did they do that? Why not freshly model? Did they not get new models for this game? Why model it after the old Venusaur model? You didn't notice, but your brain did. Oh, don't look on the side on one of those pictures. Just look at Venusaur. I do like the UI for the game, though, I will say. The way the box looks, it looks promising. Hopefully it loads fine. Yeah, it's not one of my personal favorite megas either. I think the coolest Venusaur form is the G-Max. I think the G-Max is a much better form than the Mega. I agree with that for Blastoise too. There's just something about their Gigantamax forms that they like killed it. I love them. Bowser's Airship Blastoise and Big Petals drooping down Venusaur. It's great. I like G-Max Charizard too. And this time tomorrow, I'm gonna be playing ZA. That's crazy. Somebody take this. Yeah, G-Max Venusaur has a much different vibe to it than the Mega does. Yeah, if you're Australia, New Zealand, and then eventually parts of Europe, Asia, you guys will all have it ahead of time. I mean, I could change my Play Store to like Australia and be sweaty about it, but I always just play at midnight. That's just a little bit after I go live anyway. Let's see, beta plot for Sword and Shield. They were gonna have power. Yeah, they did mention power spots a few times in the plot. Altered eye expressions. Allows Pokemon to follow the player, so they implemented that in the DLC. Alright, ZYGARDE, can you chill? 4 vs 1 battle mechanic. Interesting, that got cut. Yeah, here's more of that king and queen. So I guess they repurposed the king into Zamazenta and the queen into Zacian. Right? Family resentment. The secretary's family harbors bitterness towards their grandfather for his obsession and eventual breakdown. Are we talking about Chairman Rose? The secretary's ancestor, the secretary's grandfather, claimed to have met the king and queen, coming from a lineage of tomb guardians. Also, L. What's up, Mimikyu? Coming from a lineage of tomb guardians, he resembled the original tomb keeper. He could never find them again, presented his findings, he was branded a fraud and driven to madness. Wow. And how did we get Chairman Rose in that flimsy plot from this, I wonder? No shiny luck yet. We'll be doing a few more on the eve of ZA. Maybe Calyrex is what became of the King of Legend thing. Alright, chat, give me 1 second before we start. I'll be right back. Alright, let's get started. Good night, Rescue Squad. Have a good one. Ooh, Aurorus. Good start. Yeah, the beta Sword and Shield plot does sound like something historical from a Legends game. Ellie's on the field. Oh, I thought that was Celio for a second, but I think it's Politoed. Not helpful. Oh, did we talk about the Pocket changes? Did you guys see what they're doing to Pocket? Yeah, I posted a something that made me chuckle in memes in the Discord, but it was PLA's plot versus ZA's plot. We're just kind of going visiting France, and then in PLA it's the animals here will kill you. Wait, what was Joe ranting about? I know, Tyler could trade me the Garchomp he pulled. Salvation. Yeah, that was the Pocket update. You can trade shinies now, and the 4 stars, I think? Yeah, they were originally gonna do Johto instead of Kalos for the second Legends game. I wonder why they changed their minds. They were going to do it because it was Gold and Silver's big anniversary. Remember last year when that Gold and Silver promotion came out at the Pokemon Center that got scalped in like 2.5 seconds? That was all planned for the anniversary. They originally wanted to do Legends Johto for the anniversary. Yeah, Cacturn, honestly, that's as good as a guess as there can be. That it would have been too samey. Because Sinnoh is also Japan. So Johto would also be Japan. 2 ancient Japanese games back to back. Maybe you're right. I like the fact that ZA is quote-unquote modern day. Or at least 5 years after the events of X and Y. I'm glad we didn't go back to the past again. Sleep and Go had major update events before and after ZA release. Oh no. Yeah, there's the rumored Japanese Mega Region game. Is that the Seed game? A lot of the leaks have been talking about that Seed Pokemon stuff, and I don't know if I get it all. The seed can be randomly generated, but only in this game. Yeah, didn't they talk about the beginning area in Gen 10? They want it to feel like an MMO lobby. That's kind of what they do in Crown Tundra. In Isle of Armor. Or I guess base Sword and Shield itself. Where you can see other players, sort of. Did you also see they had a picture of Spore? They used a few images of Spore. There are official Game Freak documents that have images from the video game Spore in them. That's so good! Somebody at Game Freak just loves Spore. Bless them. They're so right for that. Good night, Galaxy. Have a good one. Let's go. I can't believe it. I am sad that they skipped out on Johto. Like, I'm always down to go back to Johto if it's done right. So, I don't know, kind of sad that they skipped over Johto like that. I think besides Gen 5, a lot of people have been clamoring for Gen 2 to return because it's just been so long. Hey, I mean, like I said before, I have always thought Galar would be a good choice for a Legends game. Some of the screenshots almost look like they were Shadow of the Colossus. More like Shadow of the Colossal. Because it was big Colossal in the screenshot. Because it was Colossal in the screenshot. I mean, actually getting to interact with Dynamax Pokemon or Gigantamax Pokemon that are kind of roaming, that's a really fun idea. If they can pull that off, that has potential to be really cool. Auroras thinks so too with that little stomp. What could they do with the if the next Legends game does, you know, if Galar really is the next destination, what are they going to do with the legendaries there? Are they going to give Calyrex a new form or something, or do something with Zacian and Zamazenta? They're already such strong legendaries. What more could they be given? Good crit, Auroras. Would they give a form to something like Glastier or Spectrier? Also, is it gonna be Pokemon WW? Or is it gonna be Pokemon WIWA? Pokemon WW. Pokemon WIWA. I don't know. With barely knowing anything about Pokemon Wind and Waves, chat, which version catches your attention more? Which, if you had to choose, would you pick Wind or would you pick Waves? Waves? Wind? Yeah, I was thinking Wind. I mean, Wave sounds fun too. Yeah, Aang or Katara. Are you an airbender or a waterbender? I'm really intrigued by the legendary descriptions. I mean, that's always what it comes down to. Very rarely have exclusives ever changed my mind. It's usually based on what the cover art legendary is, so I'm really curious. I can't wait to see the starters, too. It seems like they're building up to where Pokemon can be rideable and interacted with in Gen 10. I really hope that's true. It's about time. Please. That would be so sick. If the Gen 10 starters leak, that would be nutso. But so far, there's just been descriptions, no... Well, there's been one image of a test of water. Actually, there was a little video. And people are saying that an image of Lumineon is from the game, but I don't know if that's actually true. That's what it seems to be suggesting. I don't know why Centro phrased it like this, but they said every Pokemon can be ridden or touched. This was from the planning document in 2020, 5 years ago. We don't know if this has changed. So take this with a grain of salt. We see a lot of stuff from these games that changes, so as I drop my controller. I mean, remember, well, actually, maybe you haven't seen it, but a little bit of ZA's beta has leaked too. And you were originally supposed to be able to ride Go-Goat in ZA, and they took that out. So... Again, Game Freak loves these big, ambitious ideas. But do they actually follow up on them? I really don't like the evil team from what has been said. I'm going to talk a little bit about the evil team. Again, there's nothing huge here, but if you don't want to hear it, I'm just letting you know we're going to talk about it for a second. Okay, ready? Pokemon Land Development Team. A for-hire group that destroys nature to expand land for profit. They have no ideals. They just complain while working for their salary. That sounds so boring. Yeah, Team Magma, like we're expanding land for profit again. Well, Team Magma, I guess, claimed that they were doing it for the betterment of humanity. I guess the difference is they're doing it for profit. But that's boring. At least Team Magma believed in something. A team that's just there to get paid. That's not fun. Also, destroy nature. Okay. Captain Planet story. I guess is what they're doing. Oh, apparently it is Switch 2 only. Apparently it is indeed Switch 2 only. Which, again, I guess that's not much of a surprise now, is it? I don't know, are the people, most of the people who have been holding out on a Switch 2, are they gonna have one by November of next year? Will I have ZYGARDE shiny anytime soon? The real questions. God, I can't paralyze ZYGARDE. Come on, Auroras. We need you to come through here. Don't squeeze the egg. ZYGARDE's trying to scramble Chansey. Are you guys seeing this? Awful. I'm so excited to hear all the music in ZA. Again, I've listened to a few tracks that data miners have put out, and I've pretty much liked every single one, so... I'm ready for some more, iconic Pokemon tunes. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cancel ZYGARDE if it doesn't show up shiny for me. Can't have that, can we, ZYGARDE? ZYGARDE said what in 2013? I cannot believe. Gonna miss about Scarlet and Violet. Well, it'll be interesting to see if they do any more events for it. It's still gonna be used for competitive for a while, so the game is going to hang around. But of course, any stragglers who are still playing it are probably gonna go play ZA for a while. Chansey was in a bind. The stream goes good. I mean, it'd be better if we had a few more ZYGARDE wins, though. I don't think so, Justin, but yeah, a lot of people have been saying January. I think once competitive moves out of Scarlet Violet, that's when you can really say that it's dead. Yeah, are they ever gonna do the Hydreigon raid? The last hurrah? There were so many events I would have liked to have seen them do. I think especially towards the end, a lot of the outbreaks felt kind of uninspired, the outbreak events. And then the last raid event they had was broken and they didn't extend the time, so if you didn't get Iron Valiant as a Scarlet player, or Roaring Moon as a Violet player, well, that's just too bad. Is what ZYGARDE is saying to us right now. Come on! Come on, Auroras. I think there was something mentioned about a new raid feature in Gen 10. Which, good, I hope there is. GG. I hope there is GG. Hope we can find GG there. It sounds like Gen 10 might give off a lot of Alolan vibes. Everything I've read about it is kind of reminding me a little bit of Alola. I wonder if they'll have a similar feel. Or will the new region feel distinct enough on its own? Will you be on your own, ZYGARDE Shiny? No? Son of a bitch. All ZYGARDE knows is to not be shiny. So wait, does that mean the picture in Scarlet and Violet of Greece is wrong? Has anyone figured out what the true Easter egg is? There's a picture in, what is it? It might be the player's house, I can't remember. And it looks like it's Greece. And so that's what people were saying is for Gen 10. You know how Sword and Shield had orange and grape wallpaper as like a little nod to Scarlet Violet? What's the Gen 10 Easter egg in Scarlet Violet that we don't know? Ooh, Aurora's in front of us again. Nice. Did Crown Tundra or Isle of Armor have any? I don't remember. Game Freak's budget for Kitakami was too big. I mean, it shouldn't surprise many people that these games are made on the cheap. It really shouldn't surprise people. Unfortunately. I mean, some games, it's not like there aren't games that are made with a small budget that look great. That does happen, but not from Game Freak. Yeah, again, tomorrow, chat, around midnight Eastern is when the game unlocks for me, so we'll be doing a full playthrough. I am excited. Oh, speaking of Godzilla, in the Scarlet Violet game document, there's just straight up a picture of Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and that's what they were going for with the Paradox Pokemon. Godzilla, Scarlet, Mechagodzilla, Violet. Alright, Auroras, that's pretty uncool of you. What do they even do with all that wealth? The billions that Pokemon brings in, where is that being poured into? If they're only spending like 13 million per game, where's the rest of the cash going? Their pockets. Yeah, Excalibur is a blatant reference to Godzilla. I'm honestly kind of surprised that they went that hard with such a blatant reference. Mantine's here. Alright, we're getting some pieces. We have ice pieces, and now we're getting a wide garter. They burn it. They have a Scrooge McDuck vault that they just pour it into. I think they had the other game, that Game Freak project in there. What's it called? I can't even remember. The not Pokemon Game Freak game. Beast of Reincarnation. How could I forget such an iconic title? Beast of Truths and Ideals. That's what they should have called it. That is what they should have called it. That was a crit? Alright. Okay, well, we got the freeze. Do you like truths? Or do you like ideals? Masuda Pokemon. Yeah, you know, maybe we should keep track. If anybody in ZA mentions truths or ideals, ding. It could be like Cinema Sins, everyone's favorite critic channel on YouTube. Yeah, truth and ideals, ding. True black and ideal white. Don't give them any ideas. They could do that. They could do it. Somebody take this. The fact that they don't have any remakes, traditional remakes planned, that's so interesting. They just absolutely lost the taste for it after BDSP, I guess. They also mentioned something kind of interesting about Xerneas and Evital, mentioning how they didn't give them any forms for ZA, so maybe they would come back to that idea for a Kalos remake. So Kalos was brought up in a remake setting as well. I wonder if internally things were a mess for BDSP. Maybe the whole thing was just a nightmare from beginning to end. Because there was this, I think one of the documents said that they're not going to outsource for that again. That remakes deserve more love and care, so they're not gonna outsource like that again. I don't know, I kind of have mixed feelings about it. When Pokemon does remakes right, it's great, but they haven't done that in a long time. Yeah, I mean, they absolutely deserve blame for picking Ilka. What's up, Jaded? No shiny luck so far. Yeah, well, we know Masuda was running the show all the way up until Gen 5 before he was booted out. That's so weird to say. I mean, I feel that's a document accusing him of being a bad, like, somebody who's miserable to work for. That he had favorites. Oh, I was looking that up the other day. I can only make, Rabidmon. I need to farm Digijewels to get Magnamon. Yeah, Spinda's broken forever. Rip. Rip to a real one. Well, Masuda's still with Game Freak in some... Again, I can't remember the name of his role, but... he's still there in some way. He still gives interviews. I think he went to Worlds. Didn't he? Pretty sure he was at Worlds this past year. Alright, this is a pretty good team. I wish I wasn't paralyzed, but... this is a better team than we've had most of the runs tonight. Yeah, Justin, that's kind of the vibe that I got as well. But then, like, were they not checking in on the game? Did it just... they had to have gotten approval for so many things on the game. It's like, did Game Freak not approve this? So who's mostly at fault? Yeah, the fact that they just kept it so the same. Didn't do any, you know, no Heart Gold Soul Silver stuff, no Oraz editions, none of that. No Fire Red Leaf Green Sevi Islands. It's just such a... I would love to watch, like, a documentary about the game. No shiny locks, but Darkrai and Shaman were really limited, so... unfortunately... it could have been better. Man, this is tough. That paralysis is really bad. Aurorus is low and weak, but I'm paralyzed. I can't risk it. If I get paralyzed during one of the attacks, that would be awful. Tink, 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 tink. Damn, we got really close. Oh, no! Would the extra damage from the max have mattered there? I just didn't want to risk it in case I got fully paralyzed. Like, that would have been so bad. But maybe I should have. Yeah, PLZA is reviewing pretty good. A lot of 9s, a lot of 8s, a few 7s. IGN had a curious tweet about it. Did I save it? Let me look for it. They said Pokemon Legends ZA had a short review period and a strict embargo. So while we're not ready to put a final score on it, what we've played so far is already real good. That's what they said. Tink, tink, tink. Aren't you loving this exciting non-stop action mechanics? Yeah, is the group that would do that the Gen 1ers? I mean, a lot of people have been really writing off ZA before the game has even come out. I think Pokemon is just, I don't know, there's a lot of internal... I don't know, what would be the word? Internal battles? Love hate. Yeah, Wigglytuff. Competitive. Let's go. Yeah, I definitely think it's angry fans who tend to do stuff like that. A lot of people were so high on Legends PLA when it first came out, and I think I've seen a lot of people sour on it. So I think there's a group of Pokemon fans that just really don't enjoy the Legends games. So maybe you'd get a few of those in there. But you know what I enjoy? ZYGARDE losing. GG's. You love to see it. But I would love to see the shiny even more. Come on, ZYGARDE, it's your big day today. We're all so excited for you. I'd be even more excited if you were shiny, though. If you were shiny, I'd be just a little bit more excited. Nope. 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 Aww. Oh, should we do one more, chat, or should we end on a W? What would Tazinator do? Yeah, let's do one more, chat. One more. Even if we lose, which with ZYGARDE, it's a distinct possibility. Let's do one more. If you had one shot, one ZYGARDE opportunity. Alright, let's do it. Good start, please. Let's see some ice types. Where's Jinx? Oh no, that's not what I'm talking about. Oh no. I see you're facing ZYGARDE, the game said. Have a bunch of electric types. That'll really help. That'll be great, the game said. Wow, this team is not looking like the one. Yeah, we haven't- I don't think we've seen Jinx all night. Is that Alcremie? We could go grab Alcremie. And somebody could Gamba. Yeah, this is looking rough. Yeah, maybe we should have called it on the W. Again, chat, I think tomorrow we'll get in at least 1 or 2 rounds before ZA drops. No ZYGARDE is giving me the hiccups. Alright, Linoon. Actually, you know what? You're probably best served to not Dynamax. Go for a Snarl. We're gonna have a hard time even beating this Flygon right here. Heads up, last ads of the night are about to play, but we're just, honestly, we're kind of struggling to fight Flygon. It'll be a bit before we get to ZYGARDE, if we even can. My goodness. That's how bad this opening start was. That's how bad this opening start was. We're struggling to even fight Flygon. Flygon's ultimate revenge. Yeah, put a pin in weird, crappy megas that were greenlit anyway, chat. We'll have more to say on that. We can expand on this discussion a little bit later. Just checked my Wonder Picks in pocket, and they're bad. Every time the sneak peek event rolls around, I mean, I already haven't been getting good Wonder Picks, but they have just evaporated. Throat Chop should do more on Flygon, who has such a long neck. That has to hurt. Oh, please hit A. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. I don't know, Cacturn. Honestly, that's an interesting question. Yeah, after Flygon's first Mega got scrapped, Game Freak said, no, never again. Nevermore. Oh yeah, there's a Wonder Pick event too. Meh. I need to pick up a bunch of stuff with Professor Oak's face on it. I wonder what will go wrong with the new level system rollout. Like every time something like this happens, something goes amiss. I feel like in order to be level 50 in Pogo, you have to be a Pogo no-lifer. Or somebody that spends a lot of money, a whale. Somebody that spends a lot of money on the game. How many hours does it take to grind level 50 out in Pogo? It's gotta be an insane amount. Pokemon Go has the slowest level up system I've ever seen in a game. Man, I am in trouble here. Galarian Linoon will get nuked by any fairy move sent its way. Spoofing to buy Pokecoins in Turkey? Wow. That is somebody who knows Pogo. That one little trick they don't teach you about. Too bad they'll never roll out an update to make the characters in that game not butt ugly. Doman avatars. When are they gonna raise the level cap in Pokemon, Pocket? I've been max level in Pocket for months. They just don't want to give people more rewards for leveling up more. That's sure what it feels like. That's your solution to not looking at your ugly Pogo avatar? Clothe them. Bury them in clothing, that way you don't have to look at them. Don't look them in the eyes. It's the worst art style in any Pokemon game ever? Is that fair to say? Those trainers just... What about them says Pokemon, first of all? I don't think they have any brand identity. At least the original boy and girl character looked like they were designed by a Pokemon person. But now they've just morphed into homunculuses. I don't know how to describe it. I'm just chilling in my substitute. It's like, how do you work on that dev team and not feel embarrassed by that? Again, Pokemon Go brings in tons of cash. Where is that being spent? It sure wasn't spent on the graphics of, or the character models. I think they spent 2 cents and a moldy ham sandwich and maybe some lint on those. Whatever change they had in their pocket at the time. $15 for the oh, is there actually a Grimmsnarl hairdo? $15? I hate that's one of my pet peeves. Nintendo fans do this all the time, but they'll be like, I know I shouldn't, but I'm absolutely buying this game that's way too much money or a ripoff. They're so proud about it. But first they're always like, hee hee, I should do this, but I'm buying 500 copies, actually. Like, keep it to yourself. Nobody wants to listen to this. Keep it to yourself. I'm actually buying 57 copies. Oh, of course, it's a $15 ticket. Everything's a ticket in Pogo. Well, I don't know, Oranguru has value, I guess. It's not an ice type, but... Oh, is that Electabuzz, Claydol, and Lopunny? Oh no, this is a terrible selection. Instruct makes a Pokemon use a move again, but don't use it on a max Pokemon, because that doesn't work. Also, Oranguru's speed is kind of... Sometimes it's faster, so if you instruct and the Pokemon hasn't moved yet, that kind of sucks. Three event tickets to buy for $5 to $20 each. $20, that's... so much to spend on a game like Pogo. It's such a shame that Pokemon mobile games are just constantly serving the bare minimum. Like, I think people wouldn't mind paying if you were actually provided with stuff that's worth it, and not just a bunch of cheap cosmetics or, you know, here's your one shot at getting this Pokemon, but shiny now. Like, why can't one of these games be actually good? And then when you spend money, it's like, you don't hate yourself. Like, Pocket is the same way. I mean, they're making some improvements to Pocket, but it's just so lifeless. There's just not much to do. The events are just the same copy and pasted recycled events over and over again. That's what really got me to quit Pogo, the repetitive events. Like, that was driving me crazy years ago. And clearly nothing has changed. Because they just, you know, why fix what's not broken? They're still making money. I do have to imagine, especially with Pocket, I've seen a lot of negativity over that new set that's so limited. I think these apps are bleeding players. But not enough to where, you know, they're still making a profit, so as long as they're making a profit, that's all that matters. See, that's crazy, because I already thought they were getting pretty bad by the time I quit, and you're saying they're more predatory now? That's crazy work. Much worse, wow. I mean, with the way they were sold off, I guess that doesn't really surprise me. The community day tickets were always a scam. I remember shaking my head at those years ago. Yeah, that sucks too. It's amazing how many apps won't work on phones that aren't even that old. It's like they're strong-arming you into upgrading your phone. Alright, ZYGARDE. Here we go. I'm just gonna charm. We're gonna try to charm ZYGARDE. He will be charmed, I'm sure. I might have to shiny hunt the Totodile line in ZA. I'm not gonna get it from Scarlet Violet. Bow, 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 bow. All right, big cake. The world needs you, Alcremie. That's not what we want to see. Okay, at least Lopunny is fairly fast. If anyone's using Lopunny in ZA, it has a funny hop. It moves like a bunny. Well, we got one charm off. Can we get a second one? I know all the bots are gonna have to go down and, well, there's nothing to go down. They don't exist yet. But it'll take a while for bots to start working, so if you want to complete the Pokédex, you're just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, sometimes Oranguru is faster than you think it would be. They clearly thought they were funny and put some... It has more speed than it should. Nice, good hit. Yeah, remember, no link cable back in ZA, so for trade evolutions, you gotta trade another person or hope you have the game twice and trade yourself on a Switch. Another Switch. Which is ass. Why did they get rid of such a good item? Maybe it's like brave nature. Man, why do you have to heal so much, you son of a bitch? Home compatibility won't be for a while. When do they usually make it available? I can't even remember now. Will it be available in like January? Or February? Or is it even longer? I cannot recall. Is it March? That's a long time. But they always do that. Home is never compatible with Pokemon games when they launch. Which is lame. Let's kick ZYGARDE. No, my charms. Yeah, Cacturne, I think you're right. So yeah, probably March, which, geez, that's a long time. That's after Pokemon Day. We'll have already known. Well, we already do know a little bit about Gen 10. We'll know the starters and see the trailer by then. Alright, back to Charm. Damn, come on, Lopunny. Good job, Flygon. Oh, we're so close. Yeah, there's something kind of sad about it, Justin. I get what you mean. But you know what I'm not sad about? A ZYGARDE W. That was great. GG's. I do declare. That was a good run. I know, half the best part of the presents was first finding out that it was going to be Kalos, because that was a complete surprise. And then the most recent Nintendo Direct with the Mega Dimension stuff, that was such a surprise. Having that taken away kind of sucks. But what doesn't suck is Shiny ZYGARDE, am I right? Aww. ZYGARDE is saying no, chat. No. Well, like I said, I think maybe I'll go live a little early tomorrow. We'll do a few runs and then get into the ZA playthrough. I think is the plan. Wow. I can't believe it. We have a new Pokemon game coming out tomorrow. And I'm playing it, so if you don't want spoilers and aren't going to be there, I understand. The playthrough will be available on YouTube if you want to watch it later. But yeah, we're getting so close. Just hours away. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Thanks for raiding with me as well. Thanks for the resub and all the follows. Shout out to the YouTube viewers. I appreciate it. But yeah, we'll do a few ZYGARDE runs before ZA launches. So feel free to hang out before the game officially comes out. It'll be a fun time either way. Yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for ZA. Oh my god. Good night, everybody. Bye. Oh,